And with that, we say welcome to 2025 ACC Tipoff in the Hilton Charlotte Uptown in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is officially basketball season. We're only about halfway through football season, and Brent Pry's been fired for about 3 weeks. But it is time to talk some Virginia Tech men's and women's basketball. I'm your host, Carter Hill, joined alongside our managing editor, David Cunningham. We'll be joined by the head coach of Virginia Tech women's basketball, Megan Duffy, and then Carly Wenzel and Karis Baker later in the show. David, welcome to Charlotte. I can't believe it's already here, but it is. We got a month until tip-off, and it's time to officially start talking about Virginia Tech hoops.
It's always fun being down here, and I don't know, if you had told me that Brent Pry would have been fired by the next time we were down sitting in the same spot in this same hotel,
yes.
I don't know that I would have believed you, but everything moves fast, and now we're here talking basketball, and this is the first time we've talked about the women in a very long time. And obviously we'll talk to the men later this week, but I think both basketball teams have a pretty bright future this year.
Yes, so we're going to talk about the women. And to your point, we really have not talked a lot about Virginia Tech women's basketball. But today is the day. Today is the day. So with that being said, today, David Cunningham, Monday, October 6th, what do you expect from Virginia Tech women's basketball this season in 2025-26?
I think they'll be good. I think they're an NCAA tournament team. I think they have the pieces. People might look from the outside and wonder, well, they didn't really get any huge transfers that are going to completely change the trajectory of the program. I think what Megan Duffy is banking on, which is what they discussed today, that a lot of the returners, the 6 of them, particularly Carly Wenzel and Karis Baker, are going to take that next step. There was a lot of discussion today, which is what I've written about. Carly Wenzel is shifting off the ball more. They have more ball handlers, so it's not just her having to worry about running the offense and initiating it. Mackenzie Nelson and Samaya Suffren can both do that, as can Kate Sears, the incoming freshman. And Karis Baker, she's had a lot of versatility to her game. She can guard 1 through 5 now and is comfortable doing so. I think Virginia Tech is a team that will be a little bit different because I think it'll press more, throw in some defensive wrinkles. And at the same time, I think it's still going to try to get up tempo and do so even more than it did last year. So a bit faster pace. I don't know how some matchups might look like when you get into the ACC play, depending on if you face some teams that have natural bigs, like a Duke with a Toby Fournier maybe. But I think this is a roster that is, if executed and put in the right spot, will be pretty darn good.
What are your thoughts on the way the roster is constructed? You mentioned Hokies want to push the pace. Maybe not the biggest team Virginia Tech has trotted out there, but just curious on your thoughts on the roster construction as a whole.
I think they're very athletic. Kyla Freelon came from Texas Tech. She's a former track star, like state champion. I think what she adds at the 5, she'll be a little bit undersized. And she'll play alongside Karis Baker. But I think this is a group that will really get up and down the floor. I think Matilda Eck and Rose Mishaw, they were very talented players, but weren't necessarily, in terms of athleticism, what Megan Duffy wanted for getting up and down the floor. I think Lee Taylor, the new strength and conditioning coach, has really instilled that message into them of moving, transition, getting up and down. This might be one of the most athletic basketball teams Virginia Tech women have had in a very long time. I think everybody on this roster can help in some way, shape, or form. What I'm very interested to see is how it fleshes itself out in a game. Because it's one thing to say, hey, we're going to push the pace, we're going to do this. I think Virginia Tech will try to create some havoc defensively and pressure, maybe in full court, and try to force turnovers and get out and run. I think you'll see that. But some teams aren't going to let you do that. So how do you go about it? And I think Tech has some different types of personnel. But then again, we're talking in October. And
yes.
We still got 4 weeks until the season begins. So there's still a lot of kinks to be figured out. But I do like the way it's structured. I think Tech added some pretty good pieces in the transfer portal. I'm unsure how these freshmen will kind of get in the mix. There's 4 of them, but I think you combine the newcomers with the 6 returners, and I think you've got a pretty solid squad on your hands.
What do you like about the transfers? You mentioned Hokies had 3 transfers in the portal this past offseason. Sophie Swanson from Purdue, Mel Daly from Northwestern, and then Kyla Freelon from Texas Tech. What do you like about that group as a whole?
I think Sophie Swanson came in from Purdue. She's a really good shooter. My biggest question would be how much is she going to be able to get downhill? But it seems like she's pretty crafty. Mel Daly came from Northwestern. She's a jump shooter. Not exactly a three-point shooter, meaning she is not necessarily the most versatile player, but I think she's really good at what she does. And then Kyla Freelon, again, I mentioned her, came in. All of them are very experienced. You're talking about a very experienced group that has seen a lot of battles. Carly Wenzel and Karis Baker, I think, are going to lead the charge on this team, and they are going to be the 2 best players on the floor. And I think they're both going to be vastly improved. I think you'll see a much better Carly Wenzel this year. Not that she or Karis Baker were not good last year, but I mean they averaged about 14 and 13. I think you'll see both of them play a little bit better. Now they might not have, maybe they don't score as many points, but maybe they're a little bit more efficient because I think they have more. They'll have a little bit more balance around them. They won't have to feel like they have to do everything. But I think the makeup, led by Wenzel, led by Baker, where they're kind of blossoming into their own, continuing to evolve their own games, it'll be heavily complemented by these 3 transfers who have seen the battles and know what to expect. I mean, Kyla Freelon knocked Virginia Tech out of the WBIT last year with Texas Tech. So they've got a lot of experience, a lot of youth mixed in with some of these freshmen. I'm not sure how they factor in. That's, I think, the interesting question. But there's a lot of different ways Megan Duffy kind of roll about this year.
How do you see, I know it's early, but as of today, how do you see Virginia Tech's lineup shaking out? Starting 5, and then maybe the first couple ones to come off the bench as well.
I'm still unsure. I think Duffy is too. I think I would probably go Mackenzie Nelson at the 1, Carly Wenzel at the 2, probably go Sophie Swanson at the 3 for now, and Karis Baker at the 4 and Kyla Freelon at the 5. Mel Daly will factor in. I think Kel Peterson will be she was very good as a freshman last year. I think she'll be able to find a little bit of a niche role again this season. Layla Wells, I'm interested to see how she factors in because she was very good defensively in certain moments. How does her offensive game come along? And I'm not exactly sure about the freshmen. Again, I think Kate Sears comes in. She's very, very talented. Amani Jenkins and Anaya Trent are both 6'3". They both had some length, but how good are they on the defensive end? And then the interesting one, and I'm going to butcher her last name, Spella.
I can't do it either.
Bretzel, I believe it is. Rhymes with pretzel. She's from Slovenia. And Carly Wenzel was telling me that she adds a little bit of flavor that they don't really have. Like her game's just a little bit different. But I don't know if she's going to be able to hit the ground running like that, where she's having an immediate impact. So we will see. They have good pieces. I'm just not really sure yet how some of the 7, 8, 9 players will kind of factor into things.
All right, and with that, we will step aside and come right back with our special guest, the head coach of Virginia Tech women's basketball, Megan Duffy, here on Tech Sideline. And our coverage from 2025 ACC Tipoff rolls on from Charlotte with the head coach of the Hokies, Megan Duffy. Coach, how are you? Good to see you.
Doing great.
The biggest thing you learned in year 1 at Virginia Tech, what was that, do you think?
There were so many things I learned in year 1. First and foremost, I'm so excited to be back in front of our fans in year 2. It was such an overwhelming, exciting experience. Phil and Castle and just the energy of women's basketball is incredible. Now that I know a few more people around the community, it's even more exciting. The other thing I think is just the experience of our team. You know, we have Karis Baker and Carly Wenzel here at ACC Media Day. They have now a couple years under their belt playing at the highest level, and so really looking forward to seeing them help lead our team.
When you look at this year's group, how is the makeup of this year's team in 25-26 maybe even different than it was a season ago?
It's a little bit different. We have 6 returners, 7 new players, a combination of skill and athleticism. I think the thing I love about our team is we're a little deeper, where we were a little bit handcuffed some ways last year to play a certain way. We have some different options based on different styles we play, based on the grind of the ACC conference play. So I'm looking forward to just being able to mold and shape different combinations this year.
Speaking of the makeup of this year's group, to get Samaya back after she goes down with an injury in December, how big can that be for this year's group this upcoming season?
Yeah, I thought she had a really good start to last year. She's still a young player, learning the ropes, but she had some great moments for us. She's as quick as anybody in our league. She's got a great spirit about her, and she's fully healthy now. And so for her to get that extra practice time now, game experience will be important for her. But she brings a dynamic for us on both sides of the ball.
And then can you talk about Kale's development a little bit from year 1 to year 2 here at Virginia Tech?
I think all the freshmen will feel a little bit different this year. I know when you first, go through your college experience, it's a lot. It's a marathon season. I thought Kale gave us great minutes, both in non-conference and in conference play. She's a more confident player. I think the thing we love about Kale, she's very versatile. She can play inside and out. She learned a lot about the defensive side of the ball in college, and I'm looking forward to seeing her make some huge strides this year.
And then the transfers, Mel Daly coming in from Northwestern, Sophie Swanson from Purdue, and then obviously you have Kyla Freelon coming in from Texas Tech, who you saw in the WBIT last year. What did you like about those 3 to allow them to come to Blacksburg, and how do they fit into what you all want to do at Virginia Tech?
I think last year at the end of the season, you kind of look and take a step back and say, okay, what do we need to help, further our process here at Tech? And one of the things I love about our 3 transfers, they're all a little different. They all have some experience coming from different conferences, right? We got a couple Big Ten players, a couple and then a former Big 12 player. And I think the thing they bring versatility to us. Sophie Swanson's a great 3-point shooter that has some different things in her game that'll be hard to guard. Mel Daly is someone who has 4 years of college experience. She's a bucket. Yeah. she can score the basketball. She's going to bring us great energy. And then Kyla Freelon is somebody, when we were looking at our post development, our forward group, somebody that can really have a presence inside for us defensively. She's long, she's athletic, she runs the floor. She's going to be a great 1-2 punch with Karis Baker.
Can you speak to the ability for you all to push the pace this upcoming season on the offensive end?
I think we built that last year. We want to push pace. We want to play free. We want to be great decision makers out in transition. So I always tell them that first 10 to 12 seconds is their time to go, share the ball, move the ball, and then after that we'll get into our packages and our sets and get some good looks that way. But I like the way our team has more depth to do that. Sometimes when you're only playing 7 or 8 kids, it's hard to keep that pace going throughout the whole year. And I think this year's roster will help us with that.
And then just kind of an opportunity here to gush about Hokie Nation, packing out Castle Coliseum in your first year here in town and what they offer to your program at Virginia Tech.
We love our fans. They're just an amazing group of people, whether it's our fans who have been here for decades, whether it's our new families that are coming to games, our student body. We love the Castle Guard. Between both men's and women's basketball, that's a key component of the energy in our building. And it's really fun just to be around Blacksburg and the surrounding areas. When we're out in public, our fans are always saying hi to us and wishing us luck. And we don't take that for granted, just the people that are behind us every step of the way.
And on that note, what is it like to play in the ACC every single night, do you think? From your end, what is it like to coach against who you have to coach against and play against who you have to play against here in the league?
It's going to be a gauntlet. I think it'll even be stronger, this year compared to last year. Historically for the ACC, we're the best conference in the country. The quality of coaches, the depth of the student-athlete talent, everybody's trying to get better each and every year. But between the tournament appearances and how long, we can go deep into that tournament, and, it's an amazing conference. It's going to be a fight every single night. I mean, the bottom teams can beat a top team can lose to a middle of the road team. So we're all fighting for that top echelon in the ACC.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Enjoy your day here in Charlotte, and best of luck this season.
Thank you. Go Hokies.
All right, and that was the head coach of Virginia Tech women's basketball, Megan Duffy, joining us at Tech Sideline. Back with David Cunningham, our managing editor at TechSideline.com. And David, I want to pose this question your way because Virginia Tech was, quote-unquote, the first team out of the NCAA tournament a season ago. In your opinion, what do the Hokies have to do to take that step up and reach the NCAA tournament for the first time in the Megan Duffy era?
I think you just got to be better with the little things, like slim margins. There were some really high peaks last year, the the Louisville game at home on Liz Kitley Day, the Georgia Tech double overtime victory when the Yellow Jackets were undefeated. But then there were some really low lows. We're talking, the loss at home to Syracuse, the loss on the road at Boston College, where they win one of those games and they're in the tournament. I think what I'm most interested in is the defense, because I think the offense will come along. I figure it will be a little bit more creative and look a little bit different because they have some different skill sets offensively. But I thought what Megan Duffy talked about today that was really intriguing was she said there were times last year where they were fractured defensively. Some games where they just had some breakdowns and they couldn't get stops consistently, and they have to be better there. And they spent a lot of time over the summer going through every single game film from last season and breaking down what went wrong defensively and how best to go about it. And obviously, 7 new players, so some of them don't have that experience of being in Megan Duffy's system. But you got 6 who do. And I expect to see some upticks defensively from those returning players. And I think having a lot of those kids with experience will let Virginia Tech do some different things defensively. Press, trap a little bit, get up in somebody's face. Let Mackenzie Nelson and Samaya Sufferin full court press and get the opponent out of rhythm a little bit. Duffy said last year they were very not bland, but that's kind of the way she described it a little bit. She didn't exactly use that term, but they were just very simple. Kind of man-to-man, not a whole lot of changing things up. And I expect there to be a little bit of an improvement on that end of the floor. And if so, I think that this is 1,000% a tournament team and a team that can make some noise in the season, but they're going to have to continue to prove that they're going to be good defensively.
All right, let's hear from one of our sponsors here at TechSideline.com, and then we'll roll right into an interview with Carly Wenzel and Karis Baker.
Are you ready for a custom home tailored to your distinctive lifestyle? At Tyrus Homes, a leading custom home builder in the New River Valley, we pride ourselves on crafting exceptional residences that our clients love to call home. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a growing family in search for more room, an active adult seeking a relaxing retreat, or looking for a higher-end custom home that offers luxury and sophistication, we have the perfect solution for you. Discover how you can bring your dream home to life at TyrusHomes.com. That's TYRIS Homes.com.
And our coverage from Charlotte in 2025 ACC Tipoff rolls on with Carly Wenzel and Karis Baker of Virginia Tech. Guys, first off, good to see you. I do want to start with this. Very basic question, but what do you like about this year's team? What do you think you guys are going to bring to the table and sit up on the floor in 25-26?
Yeah, I think we're really excited about this year's team. We have obviously a lot of new transfers, new freshmen. I think one thing that I'm really proud of with this team and excited about is everyone's just really excited to learn. Obviously me and Carly come in and we've had the experience of playing in the ACC and the freshmen haven't. And I think they're really good at picking up what we tell them to do, picking up on stuff that we're telling them during practice. And I know it can be a lot as a freshman, especially a transfer too. But I think they're really just being a sponge to learning what we're telling them and just putting in the hard work because I know that it's going to take a lot. So just having that, I think they have proven a lot already.
I would say people are just open-minded. I think that you can easily go either criticize or tell somebody something they're doing really well, and they're taking it with a smile on their face either way and just saying thank you. And that's not something that happens often at this level. People, will have big egos and stuff like that, and it's nobody on our team kind of has that. We're all able to hold each other accountable and to a high level, and that's something that you kind of always want whenever you're playing and trying to compete at the highest level.
For both of you guys, can you talk about your journey in Blacksburg? I know you guys have been around for a couple years now, and to see you all personally develop from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, and even for you, Carly, to year 4 as well.
Yeah, I would say for my freshman year, I was kind of just more of a standstill shooter, but I think when Coach Duffy came in, she put that versatility into me. I was playing the 4 last year, my sophomore year, and I think even this year I've grown a little bit more with my ball handling, being able to bring the ball up a little bit more and just being able to handle it more. So I think I've just become, instead of a standstill shooter, I've become more of a all-around player, and I'm just really excited to be able to showcase that in year 3 and just build off of what I did last year as well.
I'd say obviously beginning of my college career, I was kind of focusing on just getting stronger, getting bigger in terms of weight and stuff like that. And so now it's more of just managing kind of my body and things like that. I'm obviously still working on being a 3-level scorer. That's something that I'm trying to be great at. I know there's glimpses of it here and there, but obviously this offseason it was more so just finishing through contact, kind of taking what's given to me. Coach has been telling me like in practice to shoot the ball, and I'm like, okay, coach, like I'm shooting the ball. But just taking kind of what's open, not really over penetrating, stuff like that. That's been really big for me this offseason.
I asked Coach about this a minute ago, but to get Samaya back after she goes down in the middle of December a season ago, how much of a boost can that be for you all this season?
Yeah, Samaya's been huge already. I mean, she's kind of like a little energizer for us. She comes in on the court and she just can pick up somebody full court. She's quick, the quickest on our team probably. I mean, she can get downhill super fast, and I think Samaya has just been somebody that, obviously she's coming back from injury. Everybody knows it's really hard to do, and I think Samaya has taken that and just become more and more confident by each day with coming in and just working as hard as she can. So I'm really excited to be back with Samaya. I've been with her since freshman year, obviously, and so I'm just really excited to finally be able to be on the floor with her for a season and just see what she can do in the ACC, because I think she can make a lot of noise for us.
I would say I think her downhill attack, I think, is in a way unguardable. She's extremely quick kind of going downhill, and that's always been her strength. I think right now it's just getting her confidence back, and she's shown tremendous progress on that side of things. So I think once she gets comfortable again, it'll be a scary sighting for our opponents, and obviously for ourselves in practice, specifically me more than Karis. But she's been doing great just with her rehab and just kind of getting things back under her feet. Not really trying to rush into things, but she's been cruising for sure.
So I know you guys have only been working out for about 2 weeks now, but in your view, how much do you think the true freshmen are going to help you guys out this year?
I think I can confidently say right now that Kate is probably one of our best just knockdown shooters. I think that whenever we get her the ball, kind of just walking into a three or just pickups, like she does a really great job of just getting her feet set. That's not something you see out of a true freshman. And so we've been really comfortable and confident in that side of her game. Amani and Anaya have been very strong. I think Anaya has shown a lot of growth within these past couple of weeks, but Amani has kind of just had a strong base on her. But they're both extremely physical down low, and I think that's something that we need. And Shabella just being foreign, like she just moves completely different. She has a completely different game, and it's very smooth, and that's just something we've always needed in that spot.
Yeah, I would say the freshmen, like I said before, they're really good at absorbing what we tell them. They've been a great sponge to what we say. I think they're just really good at understanding what we need from them. And from the post group, from the forward group, I would say Anaya and Amani, they do have a strong base on them. They're super physical. I mean, when I have to guard them, I'm like, you already feel like an ACC player right now and you're a freshman. So yeah, I would say those two have a really good base. They're going to be really good. Obviously they are freshmen, so they're young still, and they need a lot of, help from the coaches still, but that's every freshman. So I would say those two are going to be really good in their careers, and we're really excited about all the freshmen.
Okay, so biggest difference between last year's group and this year's group in your eyes? That was a tough one, I know. I'm sorry.
No, I gotta think about that one. I would say, I think you know what you're gonna say. I think our pace is gonna be a lot faster. I think we have a lot of girls that can. I mean, Kyla is gonna be kind of like our 5 in a sense, but she is one of the quickest on our team. She's up there with Samaya and Mac all the time. She's up there with the guards, even when we're doing sprints. So I'd say our pace is going to be fast. We have a lot of fast girls on our team. We also have a lot of versatility, I would say. I would say 1 through 5, we can handle the ball, drive to the basket, everyone can shoot. So it's been really fun to play with everybody because everyone has so much in their bag. So it's kind of fun because you don't know what somebody's going to come in with the next day or what the defense is going to give them. So a lot of people can do a lot of different things, so I'm really excited about that.
Like Kara said, everybody's just completely different, but I think specifically our athleticism, I'll say with Mel, Samaya, and Kyla. I think Kyla and Mel bring a different type of athleticism for us that we just didn't have last year, and obviously Samaya coming back, just the way she can push pace, the way she can create for others and things like that. I think Mel's mid-range game is something we haven't seen at this school. And so being able to play with somebody like that, like it just, you can get people in certain positions that people haven't seen from us anymore, or anytime recently. So I'm excited for that. But I think our athleticism, I think just the way Kyla crashes, like I think we're going to get a lot of second chances just because she's so hard to box and she's just so mobile down there. But that's definitely something we're looking forward to.
Guys, appreciate the time. Enjoy your day here in Charlotte.
Thank you.
And that was Karis Baker and Carly Wenzel of Virginia Tech women's basketball. Day 1 of 3 here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte. David, on your front, what is coming up the rest of the week on TechSideline.com?
Yeah, we had a lot of women's basketball stuff today. I've got a story. By the time this comes out, it'll be up on there. Just kind of a big overview. First time we've talked to Megan Duffy since July, and players since the end of last season. So it was interesting to get some of their thoughts on the improvement, and just seems like this is a more cohesive group, and it's more it fits more of what Duffy wants to do. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we've got Jim Phillips. He'll speak to the media around noonish. We'll have Talking with Teal live from Charlotte, which I know you're excited about. We'll have him, I guess not in person, but in person. Not in our studio.
Just not in studio.
But this is our makeshift studio on Radio Row for the week. And then we'll got men's basketball interviews late tomorrow afternoon. And then I'm not sure what we'll have on Wednesday. Neither Tech team will go on Wednesday. But I'm sure there'll be some other content we'll put out. I know you're excited to talk to maybe some ESPN personalities over the next couple of days too.
Yeah, well, Mike Young, all 3 Virginia Tech men's basketball student athletes, and then multiple surprise ESPN personalities too. So gonna be a fun couple of days. Always some good content. I love it.
It's always great coming down here. It's fun to catch up with colleagues we haven't seen in a while. Talk about the state of the ACC. Talk to some, as you said, different ESPN personalities. Excited to talk with David Teal tomorrow, of course, on Talking with Teal. Which bummer that it's a segment down here, not in studio this week as it was 2 weeks ago, in our luxurious studio with Nick Brown producing. But great time to be down here, and hopefully we get like Kelly Gramlich on the next couple days too.
She might be tomorrow, and then a couple other people. We're going to wait and see. There's always stuff that pops up down here, but it's one of the most fun events of the year because you can always get some good content. And tomorrow and a little bit of Wednesday will be our big day. So anyway, let's go to the public house, watch some some playoff baseball, and then have a great time enjoying some free food and beverages.
Let's watch some public baseball at the playoff house.
Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, for David Cunningham, I'm Carter Hill. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you very soon.